We are doing door frames. We're doing oak door frames that we've made, and I'm hinging them on site, ready for the doors, which are all here, and they've all obviously got to be hinged too. Now, I'm pretty well known for an MDF hinge jig that I've been producing and people have been buying for some years, which I really appreciate. It just simplifies the job of using door hinges without having expensive jigs. So these particular hinges here are adjustable. They're a 3D hinge, which means that they work exactly the same as a butt hinge with a knuckle. They're around about the same size, 4 inches. But one leaf, as you can see, is quite thick and it's got adjustment. So it will bring the door up or down. It will throw it in or out, and it will also throw the door gaps left and right as well. So it's really quite useful, but there's quite a lot of material to move. So we need to sort of treat this in a different way. So on the door side, the leaf's just normal, and on the frame side, we're letting the leaf in thicker. So let me just show you what that looks like. I'll just place that on there. So you can see there that the leaf goes into the frame. What I've done is got a section of, this is just MDF, the same thickness and offcut, and we've set the whole thing out to suit as if it was the door. So we've got our top one, which is 150 down from the top. We've got the bottom one at 225, which is 9 inches from the bottom here, and we've got the middle one in the middle of those 2 hinges. Now what this does, this piece of timber, it enables me to screw this on every single door frame, and then I can just simply drop in the jig every time, and it's all going to be exactly the same. So there's no marking out to do, okay? That's the difference between having one whole jig or a separate jig. So I'll just show you what that means. I'll screw that on. I'm screwing it behind where the door stop is, if you like. You can also see the fixing holes where we're going to fix the frames in. So we've pre-done all of that as well. And I'm just fixing this flush with the top of the shoulders here and just back from the edge. Just going to pop a screw in there to hold that. One down the bottom. Now, what we need to do, when we put in our jig, we've got to take quite a lot of stock out. And I don't really want to do all of that with a router because it makes a lot of mess, and also it will take longer and wear the router cutter out as well. So what I'm doing is dropping the jig in, marking out roughly where it needs to be, and then using a Forstner drill bit. Okay, it's a particular type of drill bit. I'm going to remove the worst of that. Now the nice thing about a Forstner is this: they cut dead flat. They've only got a very small spike on them, and you can gauge it up pretty easily. So I'm just going to remove quite a lot of the stock with a Forstner. The other good thing about a Forstner is, when you're drilling with a Forstner, because it spins so fast, you can actually see right through to the base of the cut. So this next one, I'm going to drill down to the base of that cut there. See if we can come in really tight and show you what I mean. And you can, because of the pin on it, it's really easy to position lightly and then just give it a little push, and you can see the parameters of the bit that it's going to stay within my lines, and away we go. And they're really, really nice because you can remove a lot of stock quickly and neatly. And then I'm going to drop the jig back in now. Give it a little blow, get some of the dust out. Drop in the jig, clamp that on. As normal. Keeping everything tight up against the frame. And then I've got one of my router bits. And I'm going to do the rest of that in a couple of passes, okay? So you can see where we're going with that. So first thing I'll do is I'll lower the cutter down to the bearing so it hits the jig properly. Right down to there, that's the first pass. And then again down, I've got a depth stop set as well. This is the final pass. And that's that first one done, perfectly accurate. And now to move to the next one, all I need to do is, again, Forstner it out. There's the first one. Get the next one removed. So what I would normally do, if I wasn't narrating on camera, is just do all the Forstner, then all the routing. You can see how lovely and hard oak is. It just speeds the process up and removes the stock a lot quicker than the router. Drop in the jig, clamp him on, and away we go. First pass. Second and final pass. It's such a satisfying job and really quite straightforward, and I know that everything's going to be the same. I've not got any excess pencil marks all over the joinery. All that's done in this rod here. Do the last one as we're on it. Super satisfying. Yeah, it's so satisfying using simple tools to achieve a job which should be quite difficult by hand to cut these hinges in. I mean, just chiseling these out would take absolutely ages. You'd really need to be quite skilled to be able to make those perfect radiuses here. CNC or router is pretty much the only way. Especially with the battery stuff now, it's so nice and convenient not having a cord. So let's do that again. Last one, first pass. That's what the first pass is. It's just basically taking out 50% or thereabouts, because you don't really want to try and do this in one go. And then I'll do 3 little passes to give you an idea. And the last pass. And that's it. And that is one of our frame legs done as well. The reason I like to do them now is it's much easier than doing them sort of in situ like this, okay? Because it all goes all over you as well. So it's really important that we kit build as much of this as possible. And the doors are a lot easier because we're actually only taking out, as I say, the thickness of the leaf, which is very straightforward in one pass on the router as well. So that's it. We're going to finish all those frames off, get them all assembled and fitted into the openings. It's going to look absolutely brilliant. But that's just how I use one jig to create a story stick that doesn't involve any marking out. And you could do this on door linings as well. And it's very straightforward. All I literally did to make this was draw round them, position them, draw around them, just cut them out. They don't have to be tight here as well. The most important part of these shoulders here. So when you drop the jig in, it stays where you want it as well. We've also got a little mark to say that's where we want to keep it all nice and tight. If there's a millimetre or so gap, just here, perfect. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you, that you can make any kind of jig. I could have a hinge here, I could have another hinge up here, or I could have just 2. And that's it, and it gives you an absolutely perfect job every single time. Then it was on to hanging the doors, which was really quite straightforward. Using the same piece of MDF that we used to set out the hinges on the frames, we simply used that on the doors as well. And Eddie held it, and all we did was mark round the cutout, and then we relined it up every time using the router. I chop them out, Eddie follows along with the pilot drill, pilots them out, screws the hinges on, and then it's just a matter of whacking them in their openings between us. They're quite lumpy doors, these. You could do them on your own, but it's just not worth it. The wind catches them, knocks them over, they could get damaged. So it's best that you do this as a team. We quite easily work as a team when swinging doors, actually. It's really quite nice to just get in the flow. Ed knows what he's doing, I know what I'm doing. And again, it's really useful that he's tall and he can sort of hold the doors a little bit better than me.